Welcome. I'm Sonny the Bunny, and a couple of weeks ago, I posted a video that was a bunch of tutorials on how to S-rank Cuphead bosses, but those were only the ones that you fight on the ground, and I bet you're wondering, where's the aeroplanes, right? Where's the shoot 'em up bosses? Where are those tutorials? Probably waiting for those, but wait no longer. This is that, as you most likely could have discerned from the title or the thumbnail of this video. I don't know why I'm telling you that now. But just as a general disclaimer for this video, these are not in the order of my relative difficulty with them. I had a hard time assessing that. So I just put them in the order of, when you encounter them. Also, I'm not using Divine Relic. That's cheating. Without further ado, let's get into this video, shall we? Starting us off is Hildeberg. Against Hildeberg, I like to use the Coffee Charm. The first phase, and as a general pointer for the rest of her regular blimp phases, just stay in front of her and you'll most likely avoid the laugh attacks. Also try and take out the green blimps if you can. Doesn't really matter as long as you know how to avoid them. Against Gemini, stay in front of the orb they summon, because if you stay above or below it, you leave yourself open to possibly getting hit by it the instant it starts shooting, because it shoots at either 12 or at 6. Use your bomb morph whenever you get the shot there. And yeah, I like to always go low underneath that tornado attack. Now, this is my least favorite phase. This is the, I believe, the Sagittarius phase. What I like to do is I just like to bomb it. Sometimes you can get really good timing where your bombs will hit and destroy all 4 stars at the same time. But it's fine. Just keep bombing them, and most likely the stars will go away. This phase right before the moon phase, know that every time a purple and green blimp show up, the purple one is going to shoot a parryable object. So if you need your parries, it's a great opportunity. When she starts getting upset, don't use your supers, because from what I've been told, it actually doesn't do damage. It's just a way for you to fill up your meter there. Yeah, again, use your supers when possible. Just know that the stars move pretty darn fast. Yeah. Zip under the red ones, stay in front of the brown little UFOs there. And aside from that, I don't know what else there is to say. Just take her out, parry those stars if you need them again. And she should go down soon. There goes Hildeberg, yes. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, next up we have Jimmy the Great. I like to use coffee on him as well. Against Jimmy, what you want to hope for is the first phase to be the Shimtars. I find that it's the easiest. Basically just know that at a pretty even time sequence, the swords will come back, and they move pretty fast, so always be sure to leave an opening for yourself underneath that skull. And at the end of that first phase, I like to blow him away with the super bomb morph, because usually you'll have gotten enough parries already to be able to use that and shorten the third phase by a very good margin. Here, I like to usually use my mini plane between each of the pillars and then just bomb the destroyable little modules in the pillars there. With the bombs, yeah. Here, just drop bombs from the top. It is actually, probably the most safe option, if not the cheesiest, I know. Yeah, it took 7 bombs to take out that phase thanks to the bomb morph that we did, or super art that we did in phase 1. Here, yeah, it's basically, this is a pretty frantic phase. Use your bomb morph whenever you can again. Kind of try and lead the hat to the borders of the arena, just to generally kind of keep it out of the way. Since it can be such a nuisance at times, right? It's usually pretty good if you keep it over to the far left of the screen. Always be sure that you're changing your kind of vertical position every time Cuphead is doing the shots so that you can just kind of stay out of the way. Here, I like to stay up towards the top of the arena when Jimmy's about to do his like hat ray thing. And then you can just kind of assess based on where the pyramid is when it's doing its tell, which side of it you should be on. And there you go. You got Jimmy the Great. At number 3, we have Willy Warbles. Wally, I like to use coffee against. We can use a pretty similar gimmick to regular mode in the expert mode here. Actually, just stay an egg shatter's length away from the left of the screen, and you can still just perfectly be mobile up and down, and totally be fine in avoiding the eggs. Parry the pink birds when you can. Otherwise, his behaviors are basically the same. That, like, 3-way finger gun thing is super easy to dodge, especially because it's got such an advanced tell. Here, yeah, the pattern of the feathers is very, very methodical and, like, algorithmic, so it's super easy to get around them. Always be sure that you are shooting at his head and not, like, at where his head was before he started freaking out. That's a mistake I used to make a lot. Okay, on to Willy. Use your bomb super art on him immediately. That's what I like to do, just to get that quick damage in fast. Yeah, bombs are gonna help you a lot here against good old Willy. When his eggs go wide and he's far away from you, I do like to use the torpedoes, though. And other than that, yeah, there might be some close-up parries that you have to do there, but other than that, not a super complex phase. Here, yeah, whenever he kicks his heart out of his chest, that's where his hitbox goes. The hitbox is his heart, not him at that point. So use your torpedoes there. Yeah, always be vigilant of the pills, especially when they hug the left side of the screen, because that is a tough spot to be in. The trash, you just kind of have to navigate around it, and other than that, there you go. Willy Warbles is S-ranked. Number 4 is my mortal enemy, Dr. Call's robot. Use coffee on him again. Coffee is a very good charm in these situations. Take out his laser first, always. Just bomb it, and it'll get destroyed almost immediately. You'll never have a chance to get a shot in. Yeah, always be conscious of, like, the beams that take up the whole screen. Fairly easy to parry. Yeah, I like to take out his lower section second, do a couple of EX moves, and then, yeah, use your super on the middle section. That becomes the heart then. I like to save up my EXs for his second phase after this. So I'd hold off on doing anything like that to the heart, just shoot it, and then, yeah, bomb his head when it gets released here, take out the bombs there, and hit him with your super there, and he will move on to his third phase. If he does red, there's a really tight squeeze you have to make there, which I don't love doing. Also, don't be afraid to go into mini plane form here. If you need that increased mobility, and half the time you won't even be hitting him because of those electrical columns anyway, so don't be afraid to go into mini plane form. That's my biggest piece of advice. The blue crystal is much easier to navigate the pillars with, so just keep that in mind too. The red crystal, when you're outside of the pillars, is totally fine. It can be a little bit frantic though, when you're trying to weave through these electrical pillars and deal with the really close together projectiles from the red crystal. But other than that, it's just kind of a repeating method, and down goes Call's robot. Number 5 is Cala Maria. Against Cala, I like to use the popularly reviled charm Whetstone, believe it or not. This first phase is a lot of combos, so you gotta know how to deal with each individual thing before you can know how to deal with them separately. The ghosts just move up once they reach their midpoint. The turtle not super complex either. See, this is where I like to use whetstone a lot. When you get certain combos with the pufferfish, there's sometimes not a great out, but when you can parry literally everything, you can just destroy any of the pufferfish by parrying them, not even just the pink ones, so you can get out of bad situations really easily there. Here is a pretty easy combo, just kind of weave in and out of the water stream the seahorse spits at you. Yeah, also you can use whetstone on her a bunch when she's up close there, and you should move on pretty quickly to phase 2 here. Phase 2, I like to get above her, bomb the head of the squid there, because that'll actually do a little bit of splash damage, and it'll keep you away from that first stone gaze. Get the parries you can here, but that's not really what matters. You use your super when you get the opportunity. Just you gotta know to button mash when you get turned to stone. That's a big one, and that phase is over already. Yeah, button mash like crazy here. This last phase is super chaotic, so you gotta almost know where those spike pillars are gonna be, even before they're like past her head. So you gotta see them like in that little crevice behind her when they just come on screen. So you gotta be very vigilant of everything going on. You gotta button mash like crazy when she does her stone gaze, and when you get all that down, you can S-rank her just like that. Number 6 is the only DLC. We'll shoot 'em up, Esther Winchester, and I like to use Astral Cookie here. Chalice's certain mechanics make this somewhat easier. Okay, so for the oil snakes, just kind of stay where you are when she shoots them. That'll make it a lot easier. Always try and be above, like on the top layer, when the vulture is dropping the dynamite. It just makes it a lot easier to dodge. The only situation would be if she's doing her cactus attack on the top. When the vulture drops a dynamite is when you should be on bottom as well. You just have to stay out of the way. Yeah. So you got to just be aware. This is a very chaotic phase. So yeah, keep your eye on the left side of the screen when she does the suck in. And what I like to do is just kind of move side to side, almost moving toward each safe as it falls, because you know you'll be out of the way. Here I like to drop bombs on her when her sausage cow is on the bottom. Just shoot directly at her when she's up on top. Use that mini plane to maneuver around. It's not a big deal if you're losing a little bit of damage every now and then here. You'll be fine. Parry those stakes whenever you get the chance, and she moves on to her last phase. Here's her last phase. Here, it's just a lot of repetition, and it's very uncomfortable. I hate this phase so much because it takes so long. But yeah, just weave through this, the scissoring sausage things, and just be patient. That's my number one thing. Yeah, I frequently have trouble making it through this without taking at least 1 damage, so Chalice really helps there. And with patience, she goes down nice and easy. Thank you all for watching. I hope this was entertaining, enjoyable, helpful, whatever to you. If you enjoyed, subscribe or don't. I don't care. Peace.